Okay guys, so I have been losing a lot lately, so I started thinking that maybe I suck at this game. So I decided that ChatGPT might have something to teach me, so I asked it to tell me which civilizations are the best. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so let's start with the C tier. According to ChatGPT, C tier is either outdated or too hard civs. So let's start with the first one. According to the AI, Chinese is a C-tier civilization, and it says so because it is actually really hard to play, which, okay, is correct. And you also must execute dynasties cleanly, whatever the fuck that means. It seems like they're really a trash civilization, so I'm not gonna bother making any builds about them, because, I mean, why try if they're so trash? But it does say they're nightmare in expert hands, so well, that actually has some credit to it. So let's get on to the next one. So HRE in the C tier, there's actually no D tier, by the way, it's only from C tier to above, still has powerful relic and men at arms timings. All right, so Borgrave rushing is what the AI is recommending me to do, but overshadowed by OOTD. Oof. Okay, so yeah, maybe he knows something that we don't. Maybe we just don't know how to play Order of the Dragon, and that's why he says they are much better than HRE. We'll have to probably explore OTD later, because HRE is also trash here. Another trash civ, Byzantines. It says they shine on water or siege maps. I don't think I've actually seen Byzantines on water before. Never in my life. But alright. Maybe he knows something we don't. But on standard lander maps, not flexible enough. So the AI is telling us that Byzantines, which is the civilization that has probably the most unique units available to them at any point in time, are not flexible enough. Yeah, interesting. Early eco is clunky. I mean, early eco is fucking great because of the Byzantines cisterns. But maybe it's too hard to play, so maybe that's why it's here on Trash Civ. And well, Abbasid Dynasty. It's quite interesting how in the Abbasid Dynasty, even according to the AI, they are still a trash civilization. That's really interesting. So they say the scaling is too low in the current tempo heavy meta. I mean, that is actually correct. They are too slow. Their 2TC takes a long time to pay off. So yeah, that's why they don't have that much success on land, at least on high galos, of course. So yeah, let's keep going. That concludes the C tier, and now let's go over to the B tier, where we have at the first civilization the English. Sturdy civilization. Compared to Lancaster, their timings are slower. That is so true. Lancaster is so fucking strong right now. And especially with the Abbey of Kings build that's going on right now, they're really, really hard to stop and really, really fast on the Feudal Age. One-dimensional and easier to play, according to the AI for English. So yeah, that is true. English is very one-dimensional. They have maybe one or two good builds right now. The 2TC, everybody already knows it and knows how to play against it. The Fast Castle Civ is really, really good, and it is really easy to execute, but against other Fast Castle Civs, the eco is not great. They're just better Fast Castle Civs right now. But still the easiest civ to play in my opinion, and it does deserve a B tier in my opinion. So let's keep on going. Rus in the B tier. Interesting. So they fall behind if denied resources. This is so true. I mean, ChatGPT is a smart brain, man. The new way to play against Rus is to go Ooga Boonga as fast as possible on them and try to deny as many deer as you can, because Pro Scouts has been nerfed a lot, and most Ruse players just try to go for a fast castle with the minimal amount of units that they can. So most of them don't even make enough units to defend from a feudal all-in. So if you just deny deer, and they go fast castle either way, they will run out of food really quickly, and you can just win the game by feudal all-in, or just extending your lead by denying them food as much as you can, and then going you fast castle as well. They still have strong feudal cavalry, but aren't as dominant as a year ago. That is true. That is true. They're not as dominant as before. Map dependent. I don't know about that. Interesting. Keep only maps. Their eco looks average. Their eco looks awesome in any map, except water maps, of course. But okay, I don't know. That is the AI's opinion. Let's go into the next one on John the Ark. So he says, John the Ark in B tier. Actually, I think this is where most pro players put JD right now. So it says, timing windows are deadly, but it's inconsistent if John dies or momentum is stopped. I mean, that is really true. Playing JD, well, the reason why JD is almost always put below French is because you have to also control JD, which is really annoying if you don't know how to do it effectively, and that is why only a couple of pro players know how to play JD correctly and handle her really well. But in the hands of a regular player, JD is just French, but slower. So yeah, I agree with this B tier for JD. Let's go into the next one, and French is also on B tier, ahead of JD. So they just said they are really predictable. That is true. French has one playstyle, or well, at least one good playstyle, which is you go Knights and you go either Sug or you go a little less Sug and go Prof Scouts on the back of it. So French is really one-dimensional, that is true. So it is really up to the player, how good they are with French, how good they are micro-wise. So B tier, I don't know if I agree with this, but I do think there are better civilizations than French. But actually not a bad spot to put French in, according to some players. So let's go on to the A tier. And in the bottom of A tier, we have Malians. Okay, very interesting. So Malians are actually one of the civilizations that I think are S tier right now. They are so good. But let's see what ChatGPT thinks. So they're not as consistent as S tier civs. That is actually true. Malians have a lot of counters. Ayurveda, I think, is a really good counter for Malians because of the timings and the Manjanics. Manjanics are really strong against Malians, by the way, because of how quickly they can destroy pit mines and the infantry units. But in the right hands, they spike hard in castle with strong infantry comms. They do spike really hard in castle, but actually the strongest compositions you can go for right now is Sofa plus Archer, which is really strong, and it Sofa are really good in castle because they have so much armor. Eco setup can be fragile. Early punishment hurts a lot. That is true. Defending with Malians is hard against certain civs, but most pro players have already devised a couple of ways to deal with that. So yeah, A tier for Malians. Let's go over to the next one, and that is Ottomans in A tier. Interesting. So they say, or it says, that it has low maintenance eco, strong free unit production from military schools, and very cost efficient castle compositions. Well, low maintenance eco, I think that is something I agree with, and the reason for that is because they just crap out units automatically. You don't have to do anything about that. They rarely have a bad game, which is what? Wait, they rarely have a bad game. I don't know what that means. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I mean, Ottomans are really weak to certain strategies like feudal pressure. But actually, it does says here that feudal pressure is weaker. Wait, what? Feudal pressure from Ottomans is weaker. Okay, the civilizations that can output a bunch of spearmen in Dark Age is, well, actually feudal pressure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this, but maybe ChatGPT knows better than we do. We just know how to lose. ChatGPT may be like Conqueror 4 or 5, in my opinion. But yeah, let's keep going. In the A tier, Sushi. Sushi in the A tier. I actually think this is where I would put Sushi too. I've been winning a lot against Sushi lately. I used to think they were S tier, but I don't think they are anymore in comparison to other civilizations. So it says, takes the hard dynasty system of Chinese and makes it streamlined. I mean, sure, but that's not why China is hard. I don't think the dynasty system is why China is hard. But I mean, whatever. Earlier pressure, easier eco, and smoother transitions. Yeah, I mean, that is about right. Sushi is a little bit easier, but actually I don't have much of an opinion here because I don't play either China or Sushi. I've just been watching a lot of their gameplay, but I do think they are way easier to play than China. So I think I agree with this position. Next in A tier, Delhi. I think Delhi is S tier, man. Delhi is so good, but let's see what ChatGPT says. Free text scale amazingly if the game hasn't ended early, and scholars now give respectable feudal pressure. I mean, they have good feudal pressure, but I don't know if it's because of scholars. But actually, well, let me think about that. Scholars actually make it so you can heal gassy raiders early in the feudal age. So you can, if you're a good micro player, what you can do is you can start the feudal age with gassies, deal damage to enemy units, and dive and raid and whatever, and then you can heal them back with the scholars. So that is actually a really good strategy to do as Delhi in feudal. And their weaknesses are tech timings, and they can still leave them vulnerable to early all-ins. I think this is true, but I don't know if they are so vulnerable in the feudal age because they have scholars. So even if you Dark Age rush them and try to do some kind of early pressure, they really don't need gold at the beginning just for the early scholars, and they will output a lot of units really quickly when they are just on wooden food. So yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, Delhi is really strong. I really think they are S tier right now because they're so easy to play, they're so straightforward, and they are so good at what they do. They have and fucking elephants are indestructible. They just have like a number of really bad matchups and really bad maps. That is true. They are really map dependent, but I do think they are really good. Finally, on the top of A tier, Mongols. They are thriving again because of the current map pool favors mobility. Does it favor mobility? I'm not sure. We have Hillandale, Altai. Well, I'm not sure about that, about the current map pool. Maybe his memory is really outdated, but I don't know. Tower Rush and Horseman builds are relevant. Their nomadic flexibility is always valuable. I mean, sure, that is why they are good. So they struggle on defensive maps where movement is limited. Sure, I guess. I think the Mongols, well, yeah, that is true. Mongols are really map dependent, and the current way to play Mongols, which is like a slight harassment with either Mangudai and Keshiks into fast castle or some kind of fast castle, is actually really annoying to play with, and it is really map dependent. So I don't know if I agree with A tier, but they do seem really, really good in comparison to where they were a couple of months ago. I think ChatGPT saw my video on the dervishes because he says dervishes healing cavalry makes traits extremely forgiving in both 1v1 and team play. I actually have videos for both 1v1 and team play. I think he just wants to make me feel better or something. So he put Ayubit in S tier. Weak if the early wing choice is countered or if you're forced into the wrong line. Into the wrong line. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe the wrong wing is what he means. But either way, it does. It is actually true. If you go for the dervish wing, for example, and you both you lose both dervishes, then yeah, you're just landmarkless at that point. So S tier for Ayubits, pretty cool. Japanese in the S tier. So Daimyo economy is both safe, whatever that means, and scalable. I don't know what Daimyo's economy is. I mean, I think he's just referring to the Japanese bonuses. And Bannerman auras make feudal. I mean, they Bannermen are actually really, really good. So the weaknesses take some time to set up. I don't know about that. The setup actually feels really, really smooth in my opinion, especially with the Curse Storehouse gameplay that we've been seeing lately. Because you just get like automatic farms, and then in Castle Age, you get free monks. And your Shiros are actually really pretty instant economy boost, and you can just use the monks to get the relics pretty fast, faster than most civilizations. So I don't know about that. I don't know if it takes time to set up. Maybe like in the early feudal age, with the buff to the barracks cost, starting with spearman rushes in the dark age actually makes up for whatever delay the economy has, because the enemy has to deal with that before harassing you. So I actually think Japan is a really, really strong civilization right now, even on land. Don't know if S tier, probably high A tier or well, actually bottom of the S tier, like ChatGPT says here, for me. But they're really, really good. So either way is good. Let's go on to the next one. Knights Templar in S tier. Essentially super French. Maybe he knows something that we don't. Let's see. It says faster and stronger knight production with strong timing pushes. I mean, I don't know which timings he's talking about, but super French. Pretty interesting. They also have one of the better water setup. They have the best water setup, my man. So they don't have weak maps. Sure. Maybe we just haven't discovered the true power of Confrere. Maybe we just need to explore KT a little bit more on land maps. Because ChatGPT here might know something that we don't, and that is why they are on the S tier. Pretty interesting. So the next S tier civilization is Order of the Shit. That is what Vortex calls them. So Order of the Shit is the order adds safer feudal and transitional tools, making them less one-dimensional relic booms. I mean, I don't agree that HRE is a one-dimensional relic boom civilization. He has really outdated data for HRE, in my opinion. And their tempo pushes. Okay, so it you know what it feels like? It feels like ChatGPT just analyzed what had the most win rate in ladder and why, and that is why it's saying here that early armored knights plus men at arms arrive before. Okay, so it's just referring to men at arm rushes. So men at arm rushes is why Order of the Dragon is S tier. Pretty interesting. Maybe I have to play a little bit more of Order of the Dragon to discover if they are really this good or not. But really good. And now The best civilization in the game, according to ChatGPT, is House of Lancaster. And let me tell you, I think some pro players would actually agree with this. And let's see why. Let's see if pro players on ChatGPT have the same idea. So it's the most oppressive feudal timing civ right now. I actually think that's true. Because, the AI here calls them the free mana terms. They are the lords. So the Abbey of Kings build is really good right now. Really good. And the kings, the lords just don't die. They can dive, they can fight for ages. They have 300 HP in Feudal Age, which is it is crazy. And they are most likely going to get a nerf again. Yeah, Lancaster just keeps getting nerfs and nerfs, man. So let's see what what else he says. So super reliable, which is why their win rate is at the top. Okay, so I was right. So ChatGPT just looked up win rates and made this tier list according to that. That is why I think. So weaknesses. Their Castle Imperial isn't as overwhelming as classic English. I don't know about that, man. I mean, if you have like full manor boom in Imperial, you have so much free unit production and you have so much space to not produce as many villagers as other civilizations and instead fill that population gap with units. So your army is going to be much bigger and the units are really strong. Like Earth Guards in Imperial are really good. If you combine them with the 4 lords, they have like they have insane HP. They have 20% HP on top of the other 20% from the university upgrade. So they become really good. And also, I mean, Geoman with the money shot skill is fucking stupid. I've won games where my eco was like, well, I'm pretty sure you saw the game where I won without like with 20 villagers just because my army was much stronger than a French player. So I don't know if I agree with this weakness. I don't know what weakness House of Lancaster has currently. I'm actually not sure. I think the only weakness they have is a few civilizations, like English, for example. English is really good into Lancaster, because Lancaster can't just win as easily as others when they go to TC. Besides a few matchups, I don't know what other weaknesses they have. I don't know. Maybe their mobility, but that's only when they have a full infantry composition. I don't know, but I do agree that Lancaster is S tier and probably the best one right now. So yeah, that is it. That is the civilization tier list according to a robot. What do I think of this? I think what I said before. I think he just looked up like win rates or something from the ladder, and that is what he put in a tier list. I am impressed that Abbasid is still F tier or C tier at least, and that would explain why China, HRE, and Byzantines are at the bottom, because he kind of rated them by how hard they were to play and their win rates. But pretty interesting. It's really interesting how Lancaster is both S tier in the pros eyes and on the AI eyes too. So yeah, that is it. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.